Hey, and welcome to Learn, Do, Become. I'm April, and this is my husband, Eric.
Hello. One of the most common questions we receive from our community members is, how is it possible to not be overwhelmed by routines?
And I was excited to have Eric explain a very simple concept that he shared with me years ago that really helped me take the pressure off myself and helped me to find a lot of joy when it came to routines. For starters, we want to define routine.
This is essentially anything that you do over and over and over again. Things like responding to emails, going to regular meetings, dating your spouse, exercising, shaving, laundry, cleaning the house. They're never done.
Routines are not the same as projects. Projects can actually be checked off. Things like building a website or retiling the bathroom floor or buying a car. But then routines often sustain those projects, maintaining that website, keeping the bathroom floor clean, and getting regular oil changes and services for the car.
I think it's really important to distinguish between those two. Like April said, routines and projects often get confused. And we try to throw so many projects into a routine mode or make routines a project. So as we go through this, we hope we can clarify how separating these two will simplify your life so much.
So the reason why we even had the conversation about the multiple choice perfect day was because it was probably 20 years ago, and I wanted to sit down and make my perfect routine for the perfect month. So I took everything that was important to me, even things like ironing and taking our children to the library and exercising and date night and reading and working on some of these projects I was excited about. And I said, okay, I'm going to do this every other Thursday. I'm going to do this on Mondays. I'm doing this on Fridays. And I typed it all out. And while I was typing it, I was just feeling sick. I thought, oh, this is so hard. This is so much. I was feeling really overwhelmed. And then once I had the perfect routine set, I tried to live it. And then I couldn't because someone would get sick or I'd be tired or it was
Wait,
things
real
just didn't
life?
go.
Real life would happen?
Real life would happen. And so I was not only miserable making the list, I was miserable living the list. And I was just frustrated with myself every day. And then Eric and I had this conversation.
Well, and April makes it sound like I had it all figured out, and this is something I always have done or always have known about. But I think all of us learn and grow, right? So actually, as she was reminding me of that story, I reminded myself of, like, we were finishing college.
Yeah.
And our senior year in college, I was like, had a lot of stuff to do, a lot of responsibilities. I want to do really, really well. So I sat down in an Excel. I'm an Excel nerd. I actually made an hour by hour of all 168 hours, including the sleep hours, had those blocked out too. And I had every hour filled in all 7 days. And I called it at the top lovingly the spiral of
Death.
the spiral of death. But it was going to be like the amazing way that I could be like as successful as 5 effective college students.
But you showed it to me after you made it. And I remember thinking, this guy is crazy.
And it was crazy. I think I stuck to it for maybe 2.5 days. And probably like, this is crazy. Nobody should or could do this. So I think it's important to be flexible. Give yourself a little grace, a little margin inside your routines, right? Don't feel like you have to do everything every day. And that's why it's this idea of this multiple choice perfect day. Not that the day is perfect, but you literally have the ability to define the core routines that are important to you, the ones that are in your life, the ones you love, your work responsibilities, community responsibilities, have those all in there.
But those are usually manageable, right?
They generally are.
The
yes.
ones that you have to do, like, oh, I have to pay my bills, show up for work,
right,
feed my family, right? Like, those things are essential, but usually those aren't overwhelming.
Not
That's
at
not
all.
what overwhelms
So
us.
you know what those are, but you have extra routines, things that you're excited about, things that you do want to do. And then I think you allow yourself to selectively choose each day which of those routines you have the time and the bandwidth to get to. And then on the days you may not have the same amount of energy or the same amount of abilities, give yourself a little grace there. Do what you can and know that you can pick up any slack in a future day, right? So it's not like I have to do everything every day or I'm not a good person.
And I remember there was one little phrase or one conversation we had where you said, some days you're going to shower and get ready and get outside and you'll have, exercised that morning and done all your projects and get your whole list checked off and you're going to feel so energetic and excited. And other days you might just need to rest a little bit more and maybe get just a few basic tasks done, but every day can be perfect. And just that phrase, every day can be perfect, whether or not I do all of it, that just felt so good. And this idea of a multiple choice perfect day is something that we've shared a lot with our community.
And I might even edit it. It doesn't have to be a perfect day, but every day is enough, right?
Yeah.
If you can put in the energy and the ability you have, it's enough,
Well,
right?
or complete.
Complete,
Like,
enough. Yeah, perfect.
We actually had a conversation that was posted in our Facebook group for one of our communities this morning. And so as Eric and I were getting ready, I'm like, Eric, this is
April's
perfect.
like, this is so perfect. This is so timely.
So, okay, can you hand that to me and we'll read it real quick?
Absolutely.
All right, so Michelle had posted the entire process of writing out my routines and separating conceptually routines from projects has been really mind blowing for me. I now need to work on not trying to finish everything and therefore staying up all night until I can no longer take it.
That sounds like a spiral of death there if you did that.
Right.
But how helpful to recognize I need to work on not trying to finish everything in a
Yeah.
single swoop, a single day, right? Just space some things out.
But then I love the conversation because all these comments started coming in, and someone said, "Oh, I agree. It's liberating to shift from a mindset where I'm failing at trying to do it all at once to succeeding at next actions geared toward current projects." And we have other videos on the channel explaining more about next actions and current projects. But then one more thought I wanted to share was said, "I'm stuck on even writing out my routines. I've made a list over and over. It's the perfection issue."
And I'm sure nobody watching this suffers at all from the perfection issue, right?
So the main thing that I'm hoping that each one of our community members can get from this video is recognizing that your desire to do all the things, it's really good. It's showing that you have high standards, you want to grow, you want to show up for people, you're really responsible. All of those things are great. But when you feel that stress and that pressure and that perfectionism that you know you can't maintain and you start, thinking of yourself like you're failing, that can completely be transformed when we look at it from this perspective of more grace. And so recognizing there are a few things, yes, you need to do those every day to sustain life, to keep things going so that you're not getting in debt or missing huge deadlines or putting yourself into a situation where you're going to have more to catch up on or more pain or something like that. But so many of the things that we're excited to do really can work more in that multiple choice framework. And I just think it takes the pressure off. It gives you so much joy. And then you can look at it and say, oh, yes, I'd love to lift weights 5 times a day or whatever, or not. 5 times a week. I don't know.
Become really buff.
You might think, I'd love to do this, every single day. But maybe it's just going to happen in a couple days, or maybe you're going to find ways to create more balance. But that's really the whole point, right?
Yep. All right, we hope this video has been helpful to you. And if you know us at Learn to Become, you know that April is much better at routines and structure than I am. Actually, as we kind of recorded this video, she has a set script and kind of an outline that we're supposed to follow. And I'm like, good luck to you. And so as we wrap this up, encouragement for them to do it as well as to let us know how it goes. We hope that you will jump in, identify your multiple choice perfect day, put in a few routines that you know you have to do, put in a few that you're excited about, and realize you have the flexibility to choose. And I mean that sincerely, all script aside, that you really can do this. And the quality of your life will improve by putting in a few basic routines, a few basic projects that you're focusing on, not too many, and literally allowing yourself to have this margin, this grace we've talked about. And we really do. We want to hear how this has gone for you. So please, in the comments, feel free to share with us your experience so we can learn together. Now, it'd be really nice if we had some outro music, and if we could maybe just slow pen in toward us.
And if you would like some more support on routines, we have a running routines on autopilot class, totally free. We'll include a link in the description where you can get access. Thanks for being with us at Learn to Become.